Hello everyone, this is Crota continuing his travel back through time, going to Gcup 68 in a best of 3 series between Lawliet and Happy. Lawliet spawning as the yellow night elf over here on the bottom right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Happy has spawned as the blue undead on the top left. This is game number 1 in the series from Gcup 68. It is gonna be undead versus night elf, as I mentioned once more, and we'll see what will be going down in this particular matchup. Gonna go ahead and speed things up to 8 times speed as we now wait for the beloved 2-minute mark, when all the action really begins in a WarCraft 3 game. Alright, let's go ahead and slow it down. It looks like we are now at, well, 2 minutes and 5 seconds as the Ancient of War now absorbing a bit of damage for the Archer Demon Hunter, taking down this Ogre Magi and this Forest Troll Trapper. Meanwhile, on the opposite end of the map, we see the Death Knight has opened up with Unholy Aura, and he looks to be doing a bit of creeping of his own. He should be able to do a fair amount right here, hoping to finish off a Forest Troll Trapper, and then use the Rod of Necromancy in order to grab a couple of skeletal minions. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at that lower hit point. Ghoul now backing away. You can see Ogre Magi is taking a bit of damage. He will get taken down very quickly. Gloves of Haste has been picked up as the Death Knight, now sitting at 700 hit points, is going to be able to do fairly well in this upcoming battle. Alright, let's take a look back over here. Demon Hunter down at 625 and already up to 7 armor, so he's going to be very, very difficult to take out. Both the heroes picking up Tomes of Strength, as we now see the Demon Hunter going after all these units here. Alright, Claws of Attack plus 6. Very, very useful item, especially when going after or being placed on a very, very high attack speed hero. The Demon Hunter now already up to dealing 31 minimum damage. Gonna finish off this Null Warden here and now look to back off, perhaps healing himself a bit from these Moonwells. Now, I am surprised that Lawliet only has 3 Moonwells at this point. Oftentimes, you see the Night Elf player often setting up additional Moonwells just because they are so important during this early Nightfall phase. If the Demon Hunter falls behind in terms of damage, that could actually end up disrupting him just a bit. Meanwhile, the Death Knight is doing a very, very heavy creeping of his own, much more than you would expect in a normal Night Elf versus Undead matchup. Undead typically tries to harass the Night Elf for a very, very heavy amount of time and then does creeping on the back end once the Lich and Crypt Fiends are a bit more available. They have higher damage, they have higher hit points, are not nearly as fragile, and they can take out relatively difficult creep camps much, much more quickly. Now, the Death Knight, however, just wandering around off over here, it looks as though, yes, he does have gloves of, or, well, is he going to do a one-shot here? Oh, unable to get to this one wisp as it jumped the tree line right there. Skeletal minions now still wandering around back over here. Very, very nice spotting by Happy to even notice that his opponent was there. Alright, let's take a look back over here. Lawliet is wondering where the Undead is, and now is going to take this opportunity to go after this 5-3-3 creep camp. It will give that Demon Hunter level 3. Meanwhile, off to the north, the Death Knight doing a very good job clearing out a rather difficult creep camp. He could use a Death Coil on the Ghoul here and pretty much bring it back up to full life. There's a detonation, and that Death Knight just shy of level 3 may be wondering what else it could possibly do. There's a Death Coil to try and save a unit, but the Demon Hunter now going to show up. Demon Hunter going after a Ghoul, decides to back away. Death Knight already at negative mana, unable to do very much more, as the Demon Hunter and Death Knight now trying to get into each other's way. Demon Hunter with Boots of Speed should be able to easily finish off this Ghoul. This Ghoul hiding itself in the back there, and now gets a 1-unit surround. Oh my goodness, I do not remember the last time I saw something like this. Why would you back off? I do not understand why the Death Knight backed off right there. He had him in his grasp and let the Demon Hunter go, as the Death Knight now wanders around the corner. Oh, he could get a Death Coil off. This could be very, very big. The Demon Hunter now back off to the north here. Let's take a look. Does he find him off over here? He does not find him, and he's going to wander around, and the Demon Hunter escapes. At 158 hit points, the Demon Hunter is able to escape and head back home. The Death Knight wondering how the Demon Hunter gave him the slip. Back inside the bases, Black Citadel already being upgraded. Lich currently being trained, as well as we are getting a slaughterhouse for the eventual Obsidian statues. Obsidian statues into destroyers and potentially abominations. All of those are in the realm of possibility. Meanwhile, let's take a look over here. Panda has been picked up by Lawliet, and the Panda is going to be able to get to level 2 relatively fast. All right, Demon Hunter right there, another mana burn. Well, one mana burn already went through, as that second one reduces that Death Knight's mana count below 10, as he's now going to be forced to fight back on Blight. All right, the Death Knight perhaps wondering how he let this game get away from him, and that was the mistake of the game. No other way to put it. The Death Knight, in firm control of the game, all of a sudden just ended up losing it, and he also used that mana stone as well, using the mana stone only to have it burned off of him, as we see a quick Frost Nova right there. All right, Demon Hunter now trying to slip back away. It looks like he will be able to do exactly that. Demon Hunter is very light on his feet, so to speak, very, very fast, as we see a beautiful wall positioned right there, in use in conjunction with the natural debris. So very, very nicely played, as the Panda now also has his own Talisman of Evasion. Are you missing me because you're drunk, or are you missing me because I'm dodging? We will never ever know, but we see that Null Overseer getting quickly focused down. Demon Hunter now being forced to head back home, and you can see that the Moonwells are rather empty at this point. One full Moonwell down over here. Perhaps it will get drained just a bit, as nope, it is. Wow, why didn't Lawliet drain this Moonwell first, especially if he was going to be using a Moonstone in order to refill up these Moonwells? Back across over here, Death Knight picking up a Tome of Strength once more. Death Knight sitting at level 3. Lich is going to be sitting calmly at level 1. Still no Orb of Corruption as of yet. Do we have the backpack upgrade? We do not have the backpack upgrade, so the Crypt Fiends will not be able to pick up the item and give it to that Lich. Orb of Corruption still nowhere to be found. Lawliet does have Druids of the Claw, and with that rejuvenation, will be able to heal back up these units fairly fast. This is going to become a deadly situation once more, as the Death Knight may come back in for another mana burn. However, the mana burns are not really working out nearly as well as Lawliet would like. So far, the Death Knight now pretty much, oh well, that was a decent mana burn there. That Lich pretty much out of mana and out of options already. There it is at level 2. Mana burn now onto the Obsidian statue. And that Demon Hunter just being so strong, anti-caster, the anti-mage, so to speak, as he shuts down the Death Knight, the Death Knight, the Obsidian statue, and that Lich. Death Knight now picking up a Scroll of Town Portal and hoping to venture out once more. We can see that there is a destroyer form ready to go, and those destroyers are going to be able to take down these bears and perhaps some of those archers. Dryads, however, magic immune, going to be nearly impossible to focus down. That is what the Crypt Fiends are for, as we are now continuing this bit of play. Death Knight could easily Death Coil that Crypt Fiend right now, get it back up to full hit points. Not quite sure why. Well, I guess he's trying to save as much mana as possible, as both sides clear out relatively difficult creep camps. All right, there is a Red Drake once more. It is ensnared, or rather it is webbed down, and it will go ahead and fall right there. Boots of Quel'Tha Lost, plus 6 agility, 1.8 armor. Not that useful at all, as we are now looking at what the Death Knight can possibly do next. Let's take a look down across over here. It looks as though one destroyer is now up in the air. This creep camp has been cleared out. Archers pulling back these units here, and we can see a Goblin Zeppelin moving out around the field. There is multiple Druids of the Claw, one in bear form, the other two in Druid form, interestingly enough, as the units are now heading back home. All right, it looks as though Spider's sense was tingling, knowing that some sort of drop play is imminent, as the Lich now goes to clear out this 3-1-1 creep camp. All right, gonna go ahead and drop down across over here. The Druids of the Claw still getting a bit of mana. There it goes back into bear form now, as he does get a rejuvenation off on a relatively low hit point Dryad. Not quite sure what that was about. And now should be making a bit of a play back inside here. All right, there is that abomination that I was talking about earlier, unsummoning an altar of darkness. And this is a very, very all-in attempt now. You pretty much know that if Happy does not win this fight, he is not going to be in a good position. If he loses his hero, the hero will be gone and out, well, pretty much forever, unless he tries to buy it from the tavern, and that will even put him much more further behind in gold. Happy is looking at, well, how well protected his current base is. There is one Nerubian tower, and that is it. There is also the Black Citadel. Units are now making a venture forth. Was spotted by Lawliet's one ward right off over there, and here we have it dropping straight up inside this base. Happy is on the run. There's a breath of fire going down, and it looks as though, well, it looks as though they're just going to unsummon the gold mine and then make their way out. The Acolytes could have perhaps go to another base, perhaps haunt another gold mine, do something else, as the main base is now under attack on both sides. However, in the course of base races, the Undead is always at the disadvantaged position because he only has one unit, the Abomination, that does full damage against fortified armor. The buildings all with fortified armor, Moonwells pretty much all getting cleared out right now, as we see Goblin Sappers now making their way off to the north. All right, where are we going to be trying to set up another gold mine? That is the question. There is Black Citadel now taken out, and this is really turning into a base race and by everything. All right, let's take a look at this. Tree of Eternity has taken a fair bit of damage. Down across over here, Acolytes in serious trouble. What are they going to be doing? Are they going to be able to build a necropolis anywhere? It does not look like it. They were not well protected at all, and the Death Knight only has himself to blame. Death Coil saves it, but is it going to be enough? All right, Death Knight is right there. You can see, oh, there is a necropolis. Death Coil saves it again, and that is the most important building right now in the entire game. If it goes down, that is pretty much going to be it. Ghouls now showing up as well. Is there enough gold? 236 gold. He can haunt a gold mine, and that is pretty much it, as the Dryads are now being forced to make a move back. All right, Wisp now being pulled back here. What building is being constructed? That is the GG. And game over. Submitting results. All right, so all the buildings lost there. Happy, unable to keep his buildings alive, and did not even bother escorting his Acolytes out of a very sticky situation. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1. Please stay tuned for game number 2.